We're midway through Series A and we've got some amazing places to go and visit in the next few episodes.
We hope you're enjoying viewing as much as we're enjoying exploring.
Yep, and we've all got on the 2023 LTM Christmas jumper, which you can get both in Covent Garden and online.
We're getting into the Christmassy mood and we're here doing this intro at a place we've been before, but today we're going north of the English border.
We're on the road in Glasgow today for a subway system that opened in 1896.
Making it the third oldest electric deep tube railway in the world. Today we're at Partick.
In this week's episode...
Remind me, why were you guys up there?
Oh, nice stations. They're fabulous. Yeah, you can do a pub crawl around the line.
Well, directly opposite the large park.
Yeah, we're off. Got it.
Interesting how this is an island platform.
Yes, that's a very good point.
And that's made me want to go even more.
Greetings, everybody. Now, today's a funny old day because we're going to go on an orange line, not London Overground. We're going to Glasgow. We're going to the Glasgow subway. Welcome to a hidden London Glasgow hangout with a difference. I don't do this alone. I've got three, usually, amazing people from the London Transport Museum to guide us through wherever we're looking around and have a laugh. But today we've got two. First of all, Chris Nix. Good day.
Hello, you've got yellow rail things in the background and we're off to see orange things on rails today. It was a lovely little trip, wasn't it?
It's gorgeous, actually. Laura Hilton-Brown from the museum. I'm not sure what you should expect today because we're not in London and B, there might be a battered Mars bar.
I'm not sure what to expect either because I've not seen any clips and you boys have kept what you did up there kind of under wraps so that we could do this episode kind of without Sid and I kind of knowing what you got up to. Maybe we want to know what you got up to. Actually, no, I do. So until we see the vid of what you did, I do have a few questions because Alex, you text yesterday and referred to it as the Clockwork Orange. Is that correct?
Yes, I did. Not the Terry's chocolate orange, that's different, but the Clockwork Orange, yes.
Did I say chocolate then?
No, I did.
Laura, if you gone to Google the film and
I
got very, very confused about what we're about to see.
Yeah. I'm munching a chocolate orange whilst watching the Clockwork Orange. Is there any relation to the dystopian novel and film?
No.
Or no Stanley Kubrick in the house tonight? No
Stanley Kubrick. I don't even think there was a Stanley on the train when we were on it because it was quite empty. So
well, I'm intrigued where this is all going because I don't really know much about this subway, so I'm super excited.
It's all on you today, Laura, because poor old Siddles isn't with us today. She's currently cavorting around spurting geezers in Iceland. So no Siddles, but we've got Laura and we've got Nixie. So Chris, just give us a very, very brief potted history of this very cool tube line.
Well, this is one that fans have talked to us about. You can do it because I've got quite a lot of Scottish fans and there's a really good reason to do it. This is the third oldest electric deep tube railway in the world after London and Budapest. It was 1896 that this one was created. And as we'll talk about on the film, it bears quite a bit of relation to our oldest one in London, City and South London Railway, in terms of size, the kind of technology that helped it to evolve, and fulfills a very similar function in terms of providing that central part of a city with subterranean mobility.
I love it. Roll the tape. Hello and welcome to our Hidden London Hangout today from Glasgow. And we're at the subway, which has got 15 stations, opened in 1896, and actually I'm really looking forward to it. Got my mock-up rucksack.
Excellent, yeah, your travelling bag.
So we're going to have a little look around this now.
Yeah, I mean, it bears quite a lot of relationship to what we know on the underground deep tube in London.
And also the trains are just slightly smaller than the underground, aren't they?
Well, it's much more like the origins of the deep tube in London. So this was originally cable hauled, not electric, which was the plan for the City and South London Railway, which was the first electrified deep tube railway in And also the size of the trains, they're very much more close to the original deep tube, which was tiny. If you've ever been to see the train car in the museum at Covent Garden, you'll know they're similar in size to
Teeny
this.
tiny.
Yeah.
And it's nicknamed the Clockwork Orange.
It is.
We've got to kind of see why. When we
We
see
do.
the trains, we'll get an idea
I mean,
why.
I've seen there's a bit of a claim.
There's a bit of everything everywhere, but should we have a look?
Yeah, let's go.
Please take care on spheres and escalators.
So, what we're going to do, we're in Partick at the moment, and there's the Rennie Mackintosh lunch is in Buchanan Street.
That's the goal. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're going to go around this way. So,
There's a problem here because I'm used to going around the tube on my staff
we have
pass.
to buy.
Actually,
No,
gonna
do
have
what
to
I
buy.
normally do. I have to buy. So I'm going to use my little
I do.
wallet.
It's very nice.
Little maquette wallet. Right. Okay. So we need, because we obviously have. Here we go. Press here. Single, 3. Because we've obviously got Helen on camera today. Press here to buy. I want a receipt.
I hope the tickets are orange as well.
Absolutely. I love the fact that it's just a circle though.
Yeah, so it's about 10 kilometres that,
Yeah.
really.
And we're-
15 stations
And we can go the inner circle. We are in the inner circle.
Do you think we need to go clockwise
That's cute. Look at
on
that.
the
That's
clockwise
cute.
orange?
There's one for you. Clockwise and the clockwise orange.
Fantastic.
We could do.
Right. Okay.
We
And
got
we're
it.
off.
We got it. We got it. We got it. Push it.
Inner or outer?
Oh, well then. We've got power to do it. Or we could go this way.
Which is the clockwise? On the
Inner.
clockwise on the
Inner.
clockwork orange.
Inner. So it's that one, I suppose. Shall we?
Let's.
Should we do it? I mean, it's a circle, so if we go the wrong way round, nobody's only going to lose one. Not too deep either, Mixie.
No. Well, I suppose there was only ever one system made, so you don't have to go underneath very much in order to build it.
I'm actually quite excited about this.
Yeah.
It's quite tragic, but I'm quite excited. Do you like my belt, by the way?
Oh wow.
It
I'm
drives
gonna have to
cabin
do a-
crew crazy. It's like, why have you got 2 of those?
Have you got your own life vest as well?
Yeah.
So, station box, and then look at the dinky tunnels.
It's
That's
almost
so
like
cute.
a model railway. It's bizarre. But I like the fact that this is cute. Aren't they little stations?
They are.
That's not long, is it?
No, it's really quite compact, and that's much more like, again, the original City in South London railway, where you've only got 3 cars and a locomotive. I'll be interested to see. I'm guessing it's 3 cars.
I'm hearing something.
Yeah.
We've got something coming.
I think we've got something coming over there. There we go. That's 3 cars.
It looks like, right, okay, so I feel like a right old anorak here. But they were built by Metro Camel, okay, and they look a bit like, Helen, if you just have a look over there again, the thing I like about these trains is they look a little bit like a cross between the old Victoria line 1967 stock and the Piccadilly line 1973 stock. Do you know what I mean? The shape, the curvature and everything else. And
Very sweet.
so we've got to wait for our train.
We do. We've got 4 minutes, so we will magically let that time move on now. Just like that, train approaching.
This is Look at that, same doors. Same doors, I told you like Piccadilly and Victoria line. This is phenomenal. And look at that, all the moquette has been reunited.
It's a real exercise in quite compact design. So the ends of these carriages kind of curve in presumably to help with the corners, so the ends of the trains aren't striking, the carriages aren't striking the walls. You've got handrails built in rather than hanging down. And I am by no means a tall man, but in on the side, you've really got to mind your head.
But it's really cute. I mean, I think it's really lovely.
I do too.
And the moquette, look at the moquette, because we love that moquette, don't we?
You do.
This is properly cute.
So, I didn't pay full attention, I must confess, to what was the next station, so it's going to be a surprise what we see next.
It's nuts, but I love it. I really love it.
I'm looking up here to see if there's any car parks with the line diagram.
There's something somewhere
what have we got?
Govan.
Govan.
Is it Govan or Govan?
I think it's Govan.
Govan.
Yeah. Fantastic. I think they're very nice stations.
They're fabulous.
Yeah.
Absolutely fabulous. So the trains themselves, they're
Yes.
beautiful, aren't they?
They are.
We've got, it does remind me very much of the, I mean, even the doors look the same as on the London Underground.
do.
Don't they?
Yeah.
They really do. And the colours, it feels like a kind of a Bakerloo-liney, Victoria-liney
It's definitely got
thing.
that vibe, hasn't it?
And of course we've got the maquettes.
We do?
Yeah. Reminds me a little bit of, it's called Post Office. And it was on the Northern Line, wasn't it?
Yep.
Reminds me a little bit of that, but it's so nice to see soft carpet on your
Just
seats.
the detail on that reminds me of the shape of a old London Passenger Transport Board logo that had LPTV across that. Yeah, so it's lovely.
It's really, really cool. And like the tube, you can't drink on it.
Quite right too.
You can't drink on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was not good for us.
No.
Although I don't fancy booze today. I've had quite enough.
Well,
yesterday.
not given that it's 11:15 on a Sunday morning. No.
No. And the Do You Have Diabetes posters up there, and they really help me as well.
What, directly opposite the large park? Yeah, it's
yeah. It's gorgeous. No,
Anyway,
it's really lovely.
onward. So, Ibrox.
Ibrox, yeah, the stadium.
Yeah.
Stadium?
Yeah.
Ibrox Stadium, isn't it? But I love them. They're so cute.
They do. I think they look cool. I think orange has definitely come back as a colour, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Now they were brought in 1980, these trains, but they're about to be replaced. There's a whole new fleet of them coming in.
Yeah.
But I think these are really lovely. I'm going to miss these.
yeah, me too. I wonder if one of them, or indeed the whole train, might end up at the museum. So, if you want to see the older versions of these, then the Riverside Museum is a place to go.
There's actually a coach, isn't there, in there already?
Yeah, so they look very, very similar aesthetic to the early deep tube on the Underground in London as well.
I'm really enchanted by this image. I think it's awesome. It really does take you back in time, doesn't it? It really is reminiscent of London Underground, maybe 10 years ago, with the sort of trains that were operating on the system then.
I love that you've got something that was designed essentially in 1896 that's still doing its job today.
And interesting, isn't it, how this is an island platform?
Yes,
Now,
that's a very good point.
Have a little look at that.
We're just touristing.
And the thing about island platforms is that obviously they get overcrowded, but the passenger numbers, about 8 million on the Glasgow subway. It's a very compact system, isn't it? I mean, when you think there's what, 3 carriages on this, or 3 cars?
Clearly it's working okay on here. I mean, the island platforms on the Underground, we've gradually got rid of as many as we can in London, because as soon as you get any number of people down there, it starts to get a bit sketchy.
Scary.
And also these are end-fed ones, just like they were in London, so you've only got one way in and out on a lot of these.
Now, one of the things they do here, and I must admit, if it had been last night, I would have said we should do it, is you can do a pub crawl around the line, and every stop you get out and have a pint.
Now I've heard about this, and I think there was a similar one for the Circle Line in London, where a much bigger challenge because there are a lot more stations on there. So this one might be manageable, I think.
But also, I thought we could do our own version, whereby instead of we have alcohol, we could have a battered glass bar and an iron brew and a tonic.
A delicacy that each
Local,
one.
joyful things. And the one thing we did get a chance to try it, is the Edinburgh way of having chips, which is with salt and sauce.
Right.
Which is supposed to be delicious.
We did get to try deep fried Mars bars, which was
Heavenly, wasn't it, at midnight last night? It was just what we needed. Just what we needed. And there's another one, this is Bridge Street. Getting very low ceilings, aren't
I
they?
feel like it's a set from a 80s or 70s sci-fi film.
Or a training mock-up. It's a bit like, like at London Underground's training centre.
Yes.
You've got the little stations, haven't you?
Yeah.
They're just really
A bit
cute.
like Ashfield House,
That's
West
right.
Ashfield.
Yeah, we've got an episode on that. We're at St Enoch's, which is one stop and we've got to get off. But I love the fact you had a little chat with the Australian tourists earlier. So I'm really hoping they're going to be watching this episode. And if it is, hello.
Yeah, hello to the Australian massive watching us. We know we have quite a following. It was really quite sweet because they'd just been touring on London Underground and have come to bang this one as well.
It's so cute. It's so cute.
It's not just us.
No, not just us, but there's also a different bouquet in there. Have you seen it?
So there is.
That's different. I just noticed that.
We might have to see if we can grab a photo of that very quickly when we get off.
Well, look, that is, in a nutshell, the beautiful subway of Glasgow.
Absolutely, and I think it's tremendous. You feel instantly at home on this if you know your London Underground history. What a tremendous system. Gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Right
Really
then.
brunch.
Really Dutch.
Yeah. It's fatty and fried, I think. Well, I wasn't going to say anything more because I thought we were going to go for a fatty fry up there. But look at the hill, the steepness of the tube. This is
I've never seen anything like this. On London Underground, you would normally have that outside of the station. You would normally have the line dropping away to help the train accelerate. But to actually have it in the platform, it won't be coming across on camera, but that is quite a gradient, isn't it? Visual aid. I'll get ready.
Yeah.
That's
quite a great hill, right?
Yeah. I mean the train when it went did go with quite a whoosh.
And look, they actually stamp the live rail down
They
there.
do. I think it's a very good idea, and it's a slightly different voltage on this. And also, if you take the look across, it's a 3-rail system.
Yeah.
So you've got the 2 running rails and a live rail, rather than the 4-rail system that we use in London.
So the idea being that the return, if you like, the neutral, is one of those other
That's
tracks.
right. It would go through one of the running rails. Yeah.
Right, that is it from us.
That
We
is
do need
all.
that breakfast now.
Definitely do.
But thanks for watching.
Do you know what? I never knew I'd be able to do this, but the Glasgow subway is made in Scotland from girders. How lovely. Nixie, that was a nice day.
It was great fun. I really love going and seeing other people's subway systems and seeing, how similar they are and what the differences are. And I think it was quite cute. There's a nice moment to catch it as well with those trains right towards the end of their life before they're replaced by the new ones.
What did you make of it, Law? Because you probably could spot there are similarities. You can tell that the trains are made by the same company that makes some of our tube stock. So, and then there's the moquette, and then there's the design, and then there's those tunnel mails, and it's like a model railway, isn't it?
Do you know what I was? My 3 words would be neat, uniform, and compact. And I love the use of orange and grey. I thought that everything was it looked very easy to navigate, and the wayfinding looked particularly kind of easy too, as in just really, again, neat. And I loved that the tunnels were so small and that again compact. So I really enjoyed watching that. I've only ever been to Glasgow once and Edinburgh a couple of times, and to be fair, Scotland is one of my most favourite places. Such a beautiful part of the world, and that's made me want to go even more. Remind me, why were you guys up there? What were you doing, hanging out in Glasgow?
Funny you should say that, because the brainchild, I suppose the person who got me and Nixie to be friends, Paul, lovely Paul, was 40 years old, and he lives in London, but I used to live in London. But,
you were partying.
He's got a bit of Scottish in him. And so we went up to Glasgow. And I have to say, I love Glasgow. It is such a cool place. The food, I mean, my goodness, note to self, you need to lose weight, Alex, on that film. But goodness gracious, we've got the deep fried Mars bars. We've got the haggis. We've got the, that lovely, the thing with Cranachan, with the oats and the cream and the raspberries. Anyway, I could just bang on about food all day, but it was great.
Did you have a nice brunch as well? Is that where you were heading to after you travelled the subway?
Yeah, it was wedding anniversary day, wasn't it, Nixie? So you decided to let me tag along for the anniversary lunch.
So the moquette as well, going back to the moquette, the first set that you showed looked like little diagonal cupcakes in a row, which I thought was particularly lovely. Not that everything has to be about food, but that is what came to my mind. And I love that they use moquette as well. What a fabulous thing to have as a seat.
I know. And do you know what, Nixie, of the two that we saw, I actually really love the second one, the one with the squares, the moquette design with the squares.
Me too. I'm absolutely with you on that one. I think that old one was rather nice.
I disagree. I like the other one better.
Oh, good work. We love it all. We love it. I mean, genuinely, if you get the chance to go to Glasgow, you do get on it, because it's so fun. The wayfinding, as Laura said, is hilarious, because it's get on, stay on, get off where you want to get off. It's only going to go in one direction. It just goes, eventually you'll meet yourself coming back.
How long did it take to ride the kind of whole 10K loop, do you reckon?
I would say probably, half an hour?
Oh, right. Okay.
It's quite quick. I mean, it's a lovely little system, and it's neat and clean. And as I say this as well, Nixie, those slopes on the platforms, it was like climbing the north face of the Eiger, wasn't it?
They were extremely savage. And I did like your improvised demonstration technique with the bottle. I thought that was inspired.
Now then, Nixie, I bet you've got something to show me, haven't you?
Well, I mean, yes, of course. We have to have a few things to look at. One of them is the map, which is very much more straightforward than our one in London. So here we go. Right.
Oh, look. You see, it's just cute. It's just cute. And so the outer circle and the inner circle, they have actually got, isn't it funny, one line, but two colours.
Yeah, it's apparently it does very much have its own identity of the inner and outer. It's a bit like district and circle are, strictly they're two lines. Oh, hello, Leonard.
I don't know why I'm laughing, but the word Cessnock makes me laugh. Beautiful, and of course the River Clyde goes right the way through it. Law, nice little map.
So you got on at Partick and you rode the inner circle?
We went the inner circle to Buchanan Street.
Ah.
And then, you'd have loved as well, Laura, you'd have loved Rennie McIntosh's tea rooms, because they're all beautiful chairs, and the architecture's gorgeous. So, and
it was spectacular, and jolly good food too.
Yeah.
As well as this inner map, of course, it is part of, and I'll throw this properly onto the screen. It is part of a much bigger transport network in Glasgow, and you can just see that tiny orange bit in the centre is their subway. Now, on the naming, this is really important. As mentioned on the film, when it was originally built, and sorry, Leonard has just taken up.
You know what? I love that you're trying to not be too animated so he doesn't move, but you're trying really hard.
Out. He's very warm and cozy and slightly
he's gorgeous.
He does this a lot as well. So when it was originally built, it was a cable-hauled railway. And that's, of course, what the City and South London Railway was originally intended and designed to be when that was built. So it was a cable system where the cars kind of clamped onto the cable to get pulled along, a bit like, you know, some of the tram systems in elsewhere around the world. But it was converted to an electric system. And originally it was known as the Glasgow District Subway. Until 1936, it was decided to officially rename it as Glasgow Underground, a name which spectacularly failed to stick. As we said, you know, it has a local nickname of Clockwork Orange. And in 2003, the term the subway was readopted, and that's why you've got that letter S as their symbol dotted around the place as you go.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Cowcaddens, St. Enoch. I love that name. Beautiful.
Brilliant names. And I believe they've got the depot for the whole of the subway system between Govan and Ibrox. And of course, that's about to see some action because, as we mentioned on the film, the trains are going to be swapped out for some brand new ones. And let's just have a look at what they look like.
Oh, look at that. That's nice. Wow, that's really nice.
Yeah, this is one of the trains approaching for delivery and testing, I believe. But it looks quite space agey, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, Law. It reminds me of the new ones for the Piccadilly Dickory line, Law.
It does. It looks really modern and contemporary, doesn't it? Are they just going through a general upgrade, or what's the kind of reason behind the replacement?
They've been doing quite a lot of work on the stations as well. From what we could see, you could see they look quite sharp, didn't they? When we went through the stations, and now it's the turn of the trains. So big investment program, and looking rather fine. Glad they kept the orange though.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? And I have to say, there's something. Even the trains that are on now, if you get the chance to go to Glasgow, try the trains before they change, because it is a bit like going into a dinky Piccadilly line when you're on those trains. It's just the way they've been refitted, and they just look so similar to what we've got in London, don't they?
But tinier. So I believe they're 11 foot, or I think it's about 3.4 meters diameter, which is quite a bit smaller than the modern day tube. It doesn't sound much because ours are 11 foot 8.25, weirdly, just over 3.5 meters diameter tunnels, but it does make quite a bit of difference out of those extra few inches.
Gorgeous. Yes. Yeah, so true. You've got some stuff to show as well, Nixie, haven't you?
I'm sorry, say again?
You've got some stuff to show us, haven't you? Some
ephemera
stuff.
Yes.
Ephemera.
Ephemera, that's the word.
Ephemera.
As I said in the film, I was suffering shock from having to buy a ticket because I can't use my staff pass on it. So I did proudly keep my ticket. I do love to have one.
It's very clear as well. Do you know, it's nice to hold a ticket, and we don't do that anymore in London, but it's so nice to have a ticket. It's like a souvenir, a little souvenir of our trip. It was really good. It was lovely weekend. Happy birthday, Paul. And loads
there you go. I think 15 stations, 10.5 kilometers, about 6.5 miles long, but absolutely beautifully formed. Well done.
Totally loved it. Notes, queries, and questions, as always. Some lovely comments about the episodes that you've had in Series 8. Absolutely gorgeous to hear from so many people. I mean, David, TDC, Abandoned Railways, Erica Dodd. Hello, Erica. How are you? Gareth Brown, Saturn Canuck. And very interesting, actually. There was a picture that we showed on the Sloane Square episode, and I said, "Is that a travelator?" Because there aren't any steps on the escalators, and so many of you have said it's a long exposure shot. And there's actually, I don't know whether you spotted it, but there's a ghost shot of a train. So obviously, this massively long exposure photograph has captured a train passing through as well.
Yeah, it was one that City actually pointed out when we were looking at the version of that photo in the station on the poster frame, she mentioned, "Oh, look, there's a train going through it in a long exposure," and then we just didn't put the two together when we were looking at it later in the studio.
I love the one message from someone, Dave Drew. He says, "Are the members of the team married, or are any of them married to each other? Yes and no in that order." All right. Thank you very much. Laura, love you. Thank you very much for coming on a little journey with us. Battered Mars bar's yours.
Did you try one of these delicacies?
Oh God, yeah.
Did you?
Look at the size of the shot. I mean, seriously. The party was hilarious because about 11:30 at night, Nixie and I had a few sherbets, and we decided we'd go and find fish and chips. And the great thing,
we got nibbly, didn't we? And we were like, do you know what? We should go and sample the local delicacies. So we went off on this big.
Someone else went dancing, we went munching. It was great.
Trying to find anywhere that was open.
So good. And battered Mars bars are just the best. Absolutely gorgeous, Lord.
Interesting. Well, there you go. There's a reason, as well as the subway, to go for a trip there. I do like it when sometimes the Hangouts journey a little bit outside of kind of our, comfort zone of London and the subterranean nature of the London Underground. It's nice to get out to these places and just do a hangout somewhere else, isn't it? So well done for obviously partying, and then getting up the next day and doing that, because that was really nice. I feel like I'm fond of it, and I've never even travelled on it, but it's a place I'd like to go. So watch this space.
It was wonderful, and on the way back, we were quite hungover that day, so I do apologise. It was a Sunday morning, and I'm a bit bleary.
No, you were doing well. To be fair, you were doing well. If that was the Saturday evening shenanigans.
Dr. Footlights, that's all I'm going to say. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Nix, as always, lovely man.
Well, thank you. And thank you to Glasgow Subway. What a lovely system you have. Always a pleasure to go and compare and contrast London system with somewhere else. And I think yours is absolutely lovely, and we had a great time on it. So thank you. Also, another shout out for Riverside Museum. If you want to go and see the history of that line and the wider transport system, Glasgow has an amazing set of museums, invests very well in them and has done for years. So culturally, wonderful place to go and visit. Can't praise it enough. And with that, Leonard has decided the episode's over. He's gone.
Marvellous stuff. A big shout out to Battered Mars bars. Not that I've got one track mind. Thank you as always for watching. It's been great to have your company. As always, find us on Instagram, Alex Grundon, Chris Nick, City Holloway, Hidden London Law, and at LT Museum. You've found us on YouTube. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, and comment down below. We'll be back somewhere in London very, very soon indeed. Have yourself a great day and stay safe.